Here we go. Haha, I will start over. Thank you, Marty. I really appreciate it. I'm thinking you guys have sound now. It's that one little button that I can tap when I'm putting it in my back pocket, and it mutes it. So I really appreciate it. So welcome here, everybody. We got Darlene in the house, Karen. We have Marty and Ari from Panama. Welcome. I think it's your first time in chat. Karen, Peg, and Laura. Welcome, Laura. So glad that you are here. She says that she's got a wicked case of food poisoning last night, so you'll be passively watching from your bed. I'm so sorry to hear that, Laura, but I'm glad to see you here today. And I hope you recover really soon, because food poisoning is no fun. Oh, that sounds awful. So as you guys are rolling in here, I can talk about a few things and get the things rolling. Number one, it's not raining today. Not that I'm going to talk about the weather much, but it has been a shift in weather. I live in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon, and it has definitely started to show its Oregonian rainy side lately. So, oh, Lynn Overden's here. Welcome, Lynn. So glad that you're here. I'm back. I signed out back in to get sound, but I see you've discovered the problem. Yeah, that was on me, Karen. Sorry about that. Janelle is here from Texas. Welcome, Janelle. I'm so glad that you guys are here. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about when you guys are rolling in, just about some of the basics and get warmed up, and then we'll get things started. So I am a soft pastel artist. I mainly focus on PanPastel, and I have all of the supplies that I am using today listed down below in the description. The paper, the pencil brand, PanPastel is the brand. And this is a ultra fine soft pastel. And there's really only this out there that has the high pigment and really professional quality. I've been using PanPastel for a little over 7 years now, and I just fell in love. So I have a background in watercolor and mixed media, altered journaling, graphics, the whole thing. I've tried it all except for oil painting. I haven't tried oil painting. But I actually discovered PanPastel through encaustics. I had an encaustic phase. So you use PanPastel with these soft tools, and they're a lot like brushes over time. You just start thinking of them like paint brushes. The oval one is my favorite. It's a high density foam. I love this tool. I started out using the small applicator, and that was super tiny, but as I talk about on almost every live, I discovered the tip is about the same, so now I get this full coverage. So it's definitely worth the investment for the soft tools. They're not just makeup sponges. They're a high density foam that were specifically made for these. So I definitely recommend trying them out first. We have our piece here. I've done a print out of the stage that we've left off. And this piece has been inspired. I did a piece about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago called Walk Your Own Path. And it's an abstract piece, and I'm really excited to visit it. And it's definitely taking its own shape this round. And, each piece, even if I revisit it, I'm not that same person anymore. So it kind of just, I have to let go and surrender and see what it's going to be. Because I don't have all my pieces planned out. I do start out with some structure, and so I'm really excited to take this to the next level today. Welcome, Louise. So glad that you're here. Hi, Chrisella. And it looks like we got quite a few of you rolling in, so I'm going to start diving right into where we're going today. Lynn's here. So glad that you're here, Lynn. Welcome. So as some of you know, today is my official big launch day for my new membership called the Pastel Insider. It is interwoven with these live streams. I've been on a 7-month journey with live streaming. It's been a lot of fun, and it has slowly evolved. And I've been trying to get it to evolve to a place where it works harmoniously with my life and my style, so I can keep showing up for you guys, because I really, really love it. I didn't know I would love it this much, but I really look forward to Tuesdays and Thursdays with you all. And so I have the Pastel Insider. And what that is basically I've been demoing for the last 7 months these paintings. And from here, we're doing one painting a week. And so, did I just get a super chat already? Helene, hello. Thank you. What an awesome way to start out the live with a super chat. You guys can give her some love with a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Helene. I really appreciate the super chat and the support. But yeah, so I got this Pastel Insider membership ready. It's been going on for a couple weeks. And when you're a member, you get the behind the scenes video. I'm filming everything from the line art, when I transfer the line art, all the way to the finishing touches. I don't always show all those moments, and so now with being a Pastel Insider, you get to see the beginning, you get to see the middle when I work on things, and you get to see the end for finishing touches. And a lot of times the paintings, I will go on and do finishing touches for like another 30 minutes to an hour, and they can really take shape. So it also includes my Pastel Insider, includes the line art. I'm going to be loading that up every Friday. And you'll have it all in the classroom, so it seamlessly flows together. You can watch it all in the classroom. Even the live videos will be embedded in there. And then you get the line art, so you can follow along. That's a downloadable PDF. And then to top it all off, you will have access to all my classes and all my future classes with your membership. So if you're interested, definitely follow the link below. I'll put it in chat here. And it's $19.99 a month, and you can cancel at any time. But I'm really excited to be able to have this offering for you guys. And I did it all myself, so I have to be, I set it all up. I'm pretty proud of that, and I have beat the technology. I'm not letting it bully me, so it's been a lot of fun. So I'm gonna put that in here real quick. Gosh, thanks again, Helene. I really appreciate that. So here is the Pastel Insider link. If you're interested, I know a lot of you that are in chat already have joined. For the first 50 members, we're almost there, folks. They get a bonus line art of the Cosmic Guardian that I did a few weeks ago, and my the Mystic Council. So that is my spiel for the Pastel Insider because it is launch day. I'm really excited it's finally here. I had to delay launch because I had a hiccup, but I got it all figured out. So I'm really excited. Okay, Marty, I'm sorry you're having some internet problems today. Hopefully that levels out for you. All right, we got most of you in here. We got 21. We're at a good start. So this is perfect to reveal this. And I wonder, I'm hoping it's just, is all of you guys having internet problems, or is it just a couple of you? Because sometimes if you go out and come back in, it might just be the commercials that are popping in. Commercials will pop in and interrupt sometimes, so it could be that. Okay, good, Karen. Thank you for the feedback. I really appreciate that. Okay, I think I've said hello to everyone in chat that's here. I'm really excited. We have some new faces in here. That's always exciting. And Helene, it's been a while, so I'm so glad that you made it here today. Okay, so this is where we left off on Tuesday. And then, like I said, I'm filming some of the stuff in between. So I was playing with this, and what I was really thinking about after I could sit on it for a night, which I feel is a really powerful thing to step away from your piece for an evening, you know, especially when you've put so much time and intensity into it. And so I was a little bit like, I wanted to make some breathing room in here. And I thought about creating some breathing room around these buds that kind of came out. and then I also thought about putting some light here. And then I thought this was a little too dark right here. We have a lot of dark right here, and that's bringing our eye, you know, away from the focal point, which is right here. I talk a lot about focal point and composition in the beginning of this and behind the scenes. So the focal point here, so this is kind of taking away from that. So I ended up putting some white in here, and I ended up bringing up the border around the outside. So this is just one layer of pastel. I call this the blocking in stage, and you're basically just blocking in your colors and trying to figure out what you want to do, play around with the color scheme, and that's my intention. And so I put the rainbow in first, and then that gives me an idea where I want my colors to go. And so that's where I was at for this. So I'm going to reveal where I'm at right now. I had a repairman out twice already. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so here we go. So this is where we were, and this is where we are. And so what I've decided to bring in was a light source. And this light source is in one of the focal image place. And then I also took out the dark up here, and I put those lights in there. And I created a little bit more, if you can see here, breathability right here. And I feel like it brought out the branches and kind of broke up the strong form here. That was a really strong form, and this also broke up a little bit. I'm really excited about the light source here. That is what I really wanted to do. And you can see how the structure starts out, and then you can break it up and break it down, play with it. The structure's just to give you, I call the line art structure. That line art just gives you the confidence to know that the beginning feels good, and you got your focal point down, and you got some elements in there, and all of this is changeable. You don't have to be stuck with any of this. That's the one thing about soft pastel, especially PanPastel. You can erase and change things very easily. So let's see here. I also have taken a picture of this stage, and towards the end, I really want you guys as, viewers to be able to see the power of layering. Layering is very powerful. A lot of people, when they're new, would think this is it. This is enough. They would stop. But I would say I'm about halfway through. And I personally have built my creative process around layering because I love layering, and I've noticed how powerful it can be. So let's see here. Lynn Louise says, "Oh, the white around the edge has made it pop." Thank you. I'm really excited about that. The piece that I inspired from, this is a circle composition. It's keeping your eye within the piece. So incorporating a neutral can really make some of this color and the design pop. And so I'm incorporating that neutral into the piece. And this is mainly, I don't have it as a front, but this is the raw umber tint. And when you use the raw umber tint, it really allows you, when you're not using straight white, to have a level up. So you can, this is all of these value scales. Oh, this is my newer one. All of the value scales comes with the line art that I gave you guys a download in the membership. But the value scale, I am not wanting to be all the way at 0. I'm wanting to be around a 1 and 2. So I can bring white in and bring it up in certain areas, especially if I'm working with a light source. So if I would have went around the whole border in white, then when I put white here, your eye's not going to go here. It's going to go around the border. So all of these so-called white that's in there is actually a 1 or a 2 on the value scale. So when I bring that white in, I can draw your eye where I want it to go. And that's a design tool. Man, I'm just going to take a moment here. Whew. I got all excited. I get excited. All right, let's see here. Okay, I'm caught up on chat. So what I'm going to work on when I've looked at it again is everything looks a little stained glassed looking. And that is how all of my art looks in the initial stages. And then I like to take that stained glass look and bring it all together and start, what would I say, balancing it out with mark making and values and bringing all of that up. So I really like this whole turquoise part that came in the background, and then how I have the light here. So I'm going to get warmed up a little bit. I think I'm going to get warmed up with just putting some dots. Yeah, I got to always start out with something simple. If you're starting painting and you haven't shown up in a while, I just get a scrap piece and scribble and do things like that to warm up. This is a 700. It's in the raw umber family. And I don't, like I said, want to use white yet unless I wanted to bring out a star. But I know I want stars in this little spot here. So I'm going to put some of those in. Now the key to stars is you don't want to make them all the exact same size. And you don't want to just dot them really strongly. If you want stars that look a little bit more realistic, getting some different sizes in there and then taking one or two of them and bringing them out, and then I will tap them back with my finger, and that will marry them into the piece where they're not sitting on the surface so much. And then I will, when I did that, I'll bring out one or two, and then we have some stars that will come out. So I'm really intentional with the stars because they might not seem like a big deal, but they're a lot more powerful than you think. So I've got a few down here already, and I have that, and then I know I'm going to put some in here. And then I don't know, hopefully Stacy's going to show up because we're going to have the pastel pencil throwdown. She's always like, we're having a throwdown. We'll see if she's here, will come in here today. All right, so I have a few spots I know where I'm going to put those stars in. And then I might, since I have the pencil, I might just clean up a few of these edges in here. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the black away a little bit in some of the spots. And that's the cool thing about when I use that Wolf Carbon pencil is it can be buried, it can be erased. It just has more staying power than a regular pastel pencil. And you can even see, and on here, this is the exact same value, so you can't see those scribbles. But if I took the white pencil, this is a great example of the having that be a lower value, is if I took the white in here, now you're going to be able to see that white show up. And you wouldn't be able to see that if we had the background brought up so much. And that's something to remember. And this design tip goes throughout all the paintings, you know, to really think about your whites and not bringing them up too high on the value scale. Prairie Girl is here. Welcome, Prairie. Hello, beautiful piece. Like always, this one looks more abstract, yet you can see the scene and it's amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Prairie. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. So I'm thinking with the white, I'm just getting warmed up, so I'm not going to do too much of that yet because I don't know exactly where I want to go, but I'm going to start where I know. So whenever you're working on a painting and maybe you're a little lost, you don't know exactly where you want to start, I'll pick something that I might know, what's the most obvious. And right now for me, this rainbow needs a lot of work. So I'm going to bring up this rainbow, and that's going to take a little while. So I'm going to get that started here, and I might go in. I like that this is, solid there, but I think I want to break that up because my initial drawing had it broken up a little bit, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So see how I have those pieces that are a little overlapped and they're chunky? If I want to put that back in, I'm just pretending I'm drawing here, I can maybe overlap that on this side. And this is my Mono Zero pen. It's an eraser, and it can give me some details to erase. I'm going to break this up. And then I'm also going to do it to the one above. And now that I'm doing it here, I can really see where I might want to do that. I'm going to go this way with it this time. And this allows me to put a black line on the base, the bottom of where the paper is. And the reason for that is whatever you start on the base is going to have more staying power. And I want that. If I put this black line right over the top, it's going to wipe off pretty easily when I bump something up next to it, like the wand or a new color, things like that. Oh, I got so excited about everything. I'm like out of breath today. So I'm feeling good about that. Like, look at it now with your eyes and see the difference of, you know, the look of the design. I really like it chopped up a little bit because it matches the other bits in there. Okay. And now that I have that, I can use I like to use pencils on this layer a lot more because I get more texture and more mark making with that. One of my favorite pencils is the 585 CarbOthello. In a lot of my classes, and from like now on, I've been suggesting as the beginner pastel pencil set is the 48 set by CarbOthello. The reason why I picked the CarbOthello 48 set is because it doesn't have a lot of grays in it, if I recall. I think I'm right on that. And I think you're paying for the grays on the next level up. It has a really good balance of colors. And I just think this brand is really high quality. It's a medium hardness. You're not dealing with where they're really, really soft or really hard. They're just a great starting pencil. I'm just gonna put some dark in here. It's a little bit darker, but then I have my the 575, and it's the leaf green. And I said this last live, but I also, in my guiding light class and my terrarium one, I have a list of all the 48 pencils with their names in it. I really like that because I think learning their names is really helpful of learning where they are on the color, you know, who they're in relation to. Like this pencil is in the bright yellow green family. It's a warmer green. And this is a bright yellow green shade and the bright yellow green extra dark. And then this is the bright yellow green core. And if you've been following me long enough, PanPastel is all in families. And you can make the whole family out of the core color. If you want to have your pastel, that core color, and you don't have the whole family and you want to create a tint, then you can add white. And if you want to create a shade, you just add black. And then you add more black to create a shadow. I'm probably going to put another color in with these guys, but I really like bringing out the top here. I liked at this stage to create some mark making, some scribbles, some patterns. This pencil is the 545 and it is the emerald green light. I'm going to try to bring in another one there with that. I'm going to think about that, of what color is going to go in with that one. Let's see. Louise says, mine are coming on Sunday. So excited they finally arrived from Mary Artist after such a long trip on the ship to get here. Oh yeah, Louise, I forgot you have them coming on the container ship all the way out to where you live. That's amazing that you're able to do that. Mary Artist, so you guys know, Mary Artist, I work with them. They're a local online and in-person art shop. And if you use code DawnVS, you'll get an additional 10% off your order. I have a link below and all the supplies down there that will link you to the page of all my favorite supplies. They have some of the best prices on the interwebs, even better than the big stores. And I have been using them for a while and they're really fast shipping. They're US only. The only problem I would say is if you are international like Louise, she found her way around it. then you, they don't ship international. So I'm noticing on this one, it doesn't have a split on it. I think I might want to add that. I'm using some raw umber, and this is the raw umber. This is the raw umber core. I want to bring this raw umber up a bit, so I'm going to add a little bit of white onto my raw umber. Then I tap the raw umber. That creates a mix on my tool. And then I'm going to bring that up a little bit. I'm going to bring some pencils into this to brighten it up. I have the 675. This one's not on my list. I need to get it on my list. Oh wait, it is. It's the French red ochre. And this is in the burnt sienna actually family. I'm going to bring up the saturation of the rainbow with that. So I brought up the tint at the top, and that works with the pencil too. So it's just going to take a little bit of time to bring up this guy, but I'm going to use the a darker in the burnt sienna family. Let me get that pencil. It is the 670, and it's actually called burnt sienna. And I'm going to create a gradient with that on the rainbow. I don't want my rainbow just to be flat. I want it to glow. And so I'm going to clean it up around these guys. This little thing happened by accident. You'll see on the initial line art or at the beginning, there wasn't these 3 bands. I added some onto the rainbow. Now I have the orange. I'm going to go with the 215, which is the Indian yellow. It's a yellow orange. So having the PanPastel on the lower layers is like an underpainting. And you'll come across that more and more you're in the pastel journey, you'll start learning what underpainting is. And you know, a lot of times the PanPastel really allows you not to have to use as many, as much pastel pencil or pastel sticks. So that is one of the reasons for having those under layers. And then I can use the pastel pencils on top and create all the scribbles and everything. I want to separate this out a little bit. And I'm trying to think, I think I'll find the greenish teal here. Yeah, let me see which one's I have these 2. I'm going to use the 530. And I'm going to take one of these and go into the turquoise and have it be a little bit darker. I'll mess up the squiggles, but I'm fine with that. It's all about layering. And I'll go down at the base of this. Let's see. Yes, all the way to New Zealand. New Zealand. I know, that's great, isn't it? So far away. It's amazing what the connections we get through, you know, being able to be online. So this is one of my favorite brands too. This is the Carandache pencil. This is a 70. And I'm going to bring some red in here with it. It's a very beautiful, vibrant red. It's also called Scarlet. And I want this to go into more of a peach. And that's just going to take a little bit of a journey here. I'm going to shrink down that black line a little bit. I don't mind if my rainbow has a little bit of that black line, but you can see how it's, wait until you see the next, the before and after video. I mean, the before and after showing of this, because it's really going to show how far it comes with just these extra layers. So with the peach color, I'm going to go with the 191, and this is a Faber-Castell Pitt pencil. I don't know exactly, you know, how it's going to look yet, but I'm just bringing up from going to red into a peach. And I don't necessarily want to go right into magenta, even though magenta is my favorite color. I'd rather stay a little warmer. And I'm gonna work on, I want that to look like it's going behind. I might have to play with that here. So I've got this one, that one. It looks like I have a little bit of an extra one here. We'll have to play with these colors right there. One more row that's a little bit of an extra. So now I want to go up. So I have another peach pencil. These are all, I think, called Flesh. They're in the Flesh family of the Pitt pencils. These are some of my favorite for the Pitt pencils. And I want this to be a little bit more vibrant, so I'm going to go back and forth, but this is more of that peach I'm looking for. And you can see how I think that's a really fun combination, playing with a rainbow like that. And I don't necessarily want it to be super bright on the side here, but I'm just going to see how it feels. I'm always saying that. I'm going to see how it feels. It's fine if it's on the brighter side. It's a rainbow. Plus, I really want that division of color. Helene, I love your excitement. Thank you, Helene. Oh man, you guys, chat's quiet today. I'm going to have to make up for talking with all my chitter chatter. I can't believe it's almost October already. I think in October I will be 7 months in here. Officially. It might be because I started in February. So I'm going to go up here with the same peach right here, because that's the rainbow stairs that I have going on. And then I'm going to put I have a few black lines in here that I've left. And I'm going to just fill it in with some of these colors, and we're going to start abstracting it out. And I like to get loose, so I'm not holding on to the pencil super tight. And this, I use this structure so I can break this all down. And this is what really allows me to do that. And the pencils, I find, are a really fun addition to be able to do that. And I'll start going in to different areas and breaking them up and seeing how I feel about it. Seeing how it feels is a perfect way to describe it. Art should make us feel something. You know, Lynn, I totally agree with that. And I talk about it a lot because I think really paying attention to how you feel is important. 681 is what I'm using. It is the called the, let me see here really quick. I have these in order, but for some reason I can't focus on it. It's the light pink tint. This is a great pencil to use. Pencils are really made to layer. It took me a long time to get that in my head, that, you know, I didn't understand how people brought up all these beautiful portraits and things with the pencils. And they're really meant to layer and go back and forth on. So right up here in the top of the rainbow, I want that to go bring up the value in that. So I can use this tint, and then I can take the pencil that I used and go back and forth with that. And I think it was this 131. Was it the one? Yeah, it's the 131. And then when you go back and forth, this puts saturation back into the value that you had. So you can go back and forth on this a little bit. And using that technique, going back and forth, is how you can bring up those different values slowly. It's just a game of building. So now I have that little edge there that I think is next to the light. And the light is, you know, I'm thinking that's kind of my light source for the whole thing. This is where I just start bringing in just some scribbles. I can always take that down if I don't like, but I just go with my intuition. If I feel like doing a scribble somewhere, I'll add that in. Now I want to start bringing up this section here. I feel like I got the rainbow to a pretty good spot. There's one thing right here. I put that black line in there. I'd like to dull that a little bit. I might just dull it by going over it a little with my finger. And then I'm going to bring up the value of this one again. See if and I think it's that raw umber. It's this burnt sienna. This line is pretty thick, so I'm going to bring this black line in a little bit more. And then I can bring the turquoise on top to bring that saturation back in, but it's going to bring up the value. And you can see how I'm bringing some mark making in there. And go back with that 530. That is the emerald green. It's just the emerald green. It's nothing. I was thinking it was emerald green light, but it's not. I'm cleaning that up again. So right here, I don't know. I'm not going to really worry about it too much. I'm just going to start bringing it up because I just don't know exactly what I want it to be yet. And I'm going to go in with my PanPastel. And I've got one layer on there. And I'm going to bring it up on another layer to really get a solid foundation on there. And I really love burnt sienna mixed in with all of these. And then once that's brought up, I can take that 675, which is the, I thought this was the one I just grabbed. Let me make sure it's the Indian. 675. Sorry guys, I was thinking that was the French, yeah, the French ochre, 675. I just have them out of order on there. So I have it right there, so I can take it, and now you can see how it's a different value of what's there, and I can make patterns with that and start and I can even blend it into the rainbow, like connect them. So this is those moments that aren't planned, and it just happens as you go, and I really love that part of the process. Okay. So I've got that mark making in there, and you can see how that breaks it up and abstracts it a little bit. And now I can just start moving throughout the piece and bringing up a few of the other areas. I am going to turn on my little fan here. I'll be right back. It was raining and freezing, and now I am really warm. Sorry guys, it'll be just a second. I should keep this here just in case, but I honestly thought it was going to be really cold because I was freezing this morning. All right. Thank you. So I'm going to take the orange. This is the orange core, and I'm going to bring this up. And I can even put different mark making in with that. I think I'm going to try to blend this one in with this one. I like the idea of it blending in with this rainbow down here. It's really makes it kind of part of the piece instead of having it be separate and just hanging there. I'm going to, now I have this really bright yellow green. I'm going to use the bright yellow green shade. That's the core. And I'm going to bring up some of this little area, and then I can bring in some pencils. Now I'm going to use the bright yellow green core. And all of this layering just brings up interest. It creates depth, I guess is the word I'm really looking for. And where the light is the most is where I'm going to use these brighter colors. I don't even know what I'm going to do next week. I have to come up with an idea. Maybe I'm going to have you guys vote again. So I just took that bright yellow green core and put it right there. I'm really liking that. And I have this little circle around the red. And what I'm going to use is this, the leaf green. It's the 560. And it's the leaf green pale. And I'm going to go around where I have this paper showing. Oh, I like that. Sunny, just leave it. So I'm hitting wherever I think that light is hitting from this source. I'm going to bring in this pencil. Can even bring in some lines. That'll mimic the ones I already have on there. I'm going to go with a different color pencil for that one though. Let's see here. Karen's got a question. Dawn, do you ever use any of the PanPastel metallic colors? Karen, I have the whole set. I got the whole set. The metallic colors I use the most and that I've loved is the gold. I love the gold. I have used that extensively, and I mean extensively. I have a piece right now that I actually have the hair. I've showed it to you guys before in the lives, but I haven't used any of like these ones right here. Like I think I don't use these very much. Like this is the pearlescent green. The pearlescents are the ones I haven't really used. I don't know. I just really haven't played with them very much. It's something I could definitely do a live stream with, you know, like play with those and see what that feels like and do a piece with them. That could be a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to use my favorite green pencil, which is the 585. It's the olive green, and I'm going to put this line as a green line. That one's buried kind of cool. I'm going to leave that one. And this is going to give depth where that stem hits. I'm going to bring in some of the darker green and go in the cracks. And then I'm going to start merging these together a little bit and creating some fun scribbles and lines. And that's with all the values. See, I got these underpaintings with the colors, and now I get to play with the pencils on this layer, which is a lot of fun. I can go in with this darker on the base of these little scallops. Everyone, you know, some of the people that don't live in my area, I always get told I say scallop funny. The accent. So I'm going into the base of all of these little scallops and I'm going to create some fun interest with that. All right. And then I can go back and forth. So I have that 575. I wish I had all these memorized, but I don't. But this is the leaf green one, and I'm going to blend that in a little bit. And I can also just start, I was thinking this might be kind of cool to bring some scribbles out here. I'm going to look at that and maybe I can do another one. I'm just trying to mess things up. So this layer is all about having fun and, you know, bringing out your inner child and scribbling and blending some of these lines in. And I really want the green to be the more dominant color because green and red are complementary, and those are the two pretty dominant colors of the whole thing. So when you do a complementary color as the core, like that's the foundation, and then all the other colors are coming off of that. That's basically what I've done here, and that's how I rainbow things out. Is I'll pick something, and then a lot of times I'll make one the dominant color, and that's a design tool that I think is really can be powerful. And you can just start having some mark making fun. This really loosens up things, and it's good to look back and check and see, am I going a little too out there? But even if I am, I can layer it up some more. I can erase it. I can, you know, bring things back. Oh, let's see. Peg says, I love the pods. Thank you. I love that I put the white around them and brought them out. That's something that you just don't know until you start, you know, evolving the painting. Pam says, this looks amazing as always. You never cease to amaze me. Joining late after a late September swim in the bay. Oh, Pam, that sounds delightful. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome. So glad that you showed up today. You're always a bright spot in the chat. All of you guys are. This is such a great community. April says she finally made it. Her husband's mowing the lawn and kept setting off the ring alarm. This is so beautiful. Well, thank you. Welcome, April. I'm so glad that you're here. Hey, you know, doing this live time of the day, I'm really surprised those of you who are here have made it, you know, because I had to pick a time that works for me so I could show up consistently. And for me, this is 1:30 in the afternoon. So that you can make it here is pretty amazing. I'm really, really happy that you guys are here. Now that really bright leaf green, I'm going to bring that up in here. And this is the stuff that just evolves and builds with the layering. Now that's a real I love this moment right here. I'm really liking the light here. I'm really stoked about that. I might, as some finishing things, I'm gonna, on the finishing video for the Pastel and Cider, I might incorporate some sticks. I'm not sure. I usually do. You guys don't see a lot of the finishing stuff before, but after I'm all done with the lives, I usually go over the painting. And it's amazing what more I can add. So I'm like, I gotta start filming this. All right, so I feel like I've got that pretty good. I'm gonna work on this area all down here. We need to break that up, and especially right here. So I'm gonna start bringing that up here. Okay. Well, if any of you have some suggestions on what you would like to see next week, I can pull from those suggestions and we could do a poll. I'll see what resonates with me on the theme. I have quite a few themes I can do, and I definitely have to be inspired, but I also love to hear, what you guys are interested in too. So I'm gonna start bringing this section up. I'm gonna add some white with my orange. That's gonna bring the orange core in between a tint and the core. And what that does is it brings the value up to the edge here where I can have a transition that's not so strong. These are spots that I didn't have any color in. So once I get this to where a spot that I like it, then I can bring that up with some pencils and stuff too. The white's going to bring that up to a tint. I want to keep some of that dark in there. I just want the transition to be a little bit less. Oh, Jonas is here. Welcome, Jonas. So glad that you made it today. I got to look at your art on Instagram. Thanks for following me. It's fabulous. So now that I have the orange in my hand and I'm focused on orange, I'm going to move it around the piece. All right, we're going to see how this first name, last name is. They want me to come to India. We will see if that is what that's going to develop. Okay. Yeah, Dawn, thanks. I like your art as well. Well, thank you, Jonas. So glad that you're here. All right, so I'm going to take the orange pastel pencils. I have two from the CarbOthello family. I got the 215, which is the orange yellow. No, that's the 215 is the Indian yellow. And then I have the 221. So I'm just going to start bringing some mark making in, and orange and green really are fun to blend in together, and I can bring a lot of lighting effects into it too. So I'm just going to start getting a little warmed up, and then I will bring the orange into the green. I'm actually going to start right here. And that is going to look a little bit more like the light's hitting it. I might have to get a brighter one for this area. That's still a little dark. I'm going to go up here with it. So sometimes you got to stand back and just see how much you're putting in with that. Like, I feel like that's probably enough on the little pods. Okay. I don't think that's gonna work for me, first name and last name, but you're welcome to check out what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm gonna take some of this burnt sienna, and I'm going to bring this orange in there and just play around. And you can start putting some abstract mark making out on the edges here. I might just want this to come up, and I think I want it to be in with this teal, but I need to bring up the teal to a higher value. And so I'm going to play with that a little bit. And I'm going to use the white with the turquoise. I'm saying teal, but it's turquoise. And I think I need to grab a wand that's not... I'm going to go with a new wand. So I got my turquoise. This is the turquoise core. And then I'm going to bring up some of these scallops here with the turquoise core. I'm almost getting to the end of my turquoise. And when I brought, you know, the first layer in, that first layer is really helps me just get started. And then I can figure out, when I look over the whole piece, I can figure out where I want it to land in the values and bring up those values, because most of my work is probably starts off in a mid-tone when you lay in your underpainting and blocking all the colors in, and then I can bring them up to different levels. Hey, Michelle's in the house. Thank you for cheering everyone on, Michelle. I always love you doing that for me. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, this is looking fab, Dawn. Good morning. Good morning. We got Australia's waking up. Now we'll see if Kez wakes up. She might be here too. You and Kez are our Australians that show up almost every live. You guys are so kind. I'm so grateful. I really appreciate your help. It's a lot to, you know, manage. Oh, Karen's here. How about oh, she's got an idea. How about a whimsical frog or toad with mushrooms and whatever else strikes your fancies? I love your animals, so I'd enjoy watching you create a painting around an animal you might choose. Oh, I'll think about that one. An animal's on the table. I've never done a toad. I usually end up doing like owls and foxes and woodland. But, you know, I'm open. I have a lot of drawings stashed away, so certain things I might line up with and see. I just love that you have an idea. I've got, we could do the black and white technique with the theme next week. With black PanPastel. Okay, so you can see how I'm just slowly burying this black lines and I'm bringing up the scallops vibe down here. And I'm getting them to a similar value that the orange is at. And I'm also going to do that with this little path here. Oh, now we got chats going. Oh, Melina, welcome, Melina. So glad that you're here. You like the art. It's very sweet. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. It's 11:30 p.m. Where are you from, Jonas? I don't know if you said that already, so if I missed it, sorry about that. You were thinking about a snail and a frog. Okay. I have a woman with a snail on top of her head, a whimsical, she's like a whimsical mushroom fairy, and then she's got a snail on her head. I was thinking about doing her in one of the lives. And then she's got a bird, I think she's got a bird on her shoulder. So you can see how I'm just bringing up some of these. I'll probably bring up these greens a bit here. I'm going to leave this one uncontaminated just because I know I want to use it some more. I'm going to grab a green one and I want to bring up this green. Now this green, I made this with Diarylide and the Phthalo green. Now I want to bring that value up a bit. So I am going to maybe just bring in some Diarylide with some white. And because I have those bottom layers, this is going to create some depth. I'm going to use this bright green here, and I'm going to have that not be all the way in there, but more out on the landing here. Put that Diarylide on top of that Kelly green. I'm going to put the Diarylide with the Phthalo green down here. I'm going to take the Diarylide with the Phthalo green. I mean Diarylide, with the Phthalo green. I'm just tapping in them, and I'm going to put a little bit of that up here. The reason why I'm doing that, I'm getting that color around a little bit, so it's just not just there. I'll catch up on chat here. Chat was a little slow going, now it's all hopping. So it's all about the layering. Remember at the end here, I'm going to show the different layers, the before and the after. This was a neutral, I'm going to cover it with a green. All right, let's see here. I'm loving the red throughout the piece, Michelle says. Thank you, Michelle. Jonas is from Sweden. Well, welcome, Jonas. Helene says, speaking of black, do you ever do paintings in other colors like only red, Payne's gray, etc.? That could be fun. I could definitely do one in a color. I've also, you know, you can add color to those if they are not using white in them, and they would probably be, you know, easily preserved. That could be a lot of fun. Or I could do one in just using the blues. That's always fun. We could play around with that. That's a fun idea. I like that one. I haven't really done that, so that could be a lot of fun. All right, so I think I'm gonna clean up this spot right here and play around with that. And I want to use the green, and you know, I don't want to do too much to it because I actually like the . And I can bring some pencils in here. All right. I think we're ready for some pencil throwdown. I'm going to bring this up just a hair more with this one that I already have in my arsenal here. So that's blending those two colors. Blend it down here a little bit, bring it up into the rainbow. Yeah, I'm liking that. I want to blend in a little bit of what's inside the rainbow in here. Just a hair. I'm going to use the darkest green here. This is the bright yellow green extra dark. I got these little boulders that happen. I don't really remember how they got there. I'm going to blend them out just a hair. And I might take, since I'm inspired to do it right now, is bring in some black mark making right here. Let's see how I feel about it. I don't know if I want that to dip down. I think I want that to dip down a bit. Let me see what that feels like. It's another one of those, I'm kind of getting an impulse to do it. Going live and stuff, sometimes I'm even surprised I can have an intuition of what I want to do here. I'm just bringing in my eraser. I think I want this to dip down. I don't mind the boulders. I want to see what that feels like. Yeah, I think I like, you can see it yourselves. I think I might like that a little better. This is the number 10. It's number 10 on the value scale. And so you can see here that this hits 10. PanPastel, when it's actually on the paper, only hits around a 9, sometimes an 8. Using the pastel pencil is the closest thing to a 10. And I have some sticks that I use from Diane Townsend that gets you there. But can put some fun little scritches and scratches in there. I can tap it down with my finger. I don't know if you can see the little lines in there, but I'm going to take my awl here. And I just want to have some fun with some meditative mark making is what I call it. So anytime there's something repeating a lot. You can see I'm not just going and doing the same size dots, and I'm breaking up what they look like, and that creates interest and breaks up the design a little bit. Having larger and smaller ones. It's the same thing with the stars. Ooh, I'm liking that. See, that's a lot of fun. Like, this reminds me, you know, when I'm drawing, I can put those little details in. I might bring this out a little bit more because I'm liking it so much. So I'm not going to have them so close together when they come out. They almost look like a little cobble walkway. I'm putting more in the inside. And so it really almost does shading, like that dot shading. Let's see here, I'll catch up on chat. It's wonderful how the internet brings us from all over the world. Is Francine Tony in the house? Hey there, I'm glad you got here. Wow, that's wonderful you're here today, Francine. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, yeah, it has grown. Oh, Michelle says, how big is this? This would be amazing as a really big piece. You know, it would be fun to do a big one. I want to do on my own time, I want to start doing some large sizes, like a mirror size. I think that would be a lot of fun. This is a 12 by 16. When I started live streaming, I was only doing 9 by 12s. But I'm finding with live streaming, the 12 by 16 really works for this whole flow. All right, so I got the path in there. And I really love it. Like, I'm really excited about it. And I want to clean up this little edge right here. I'm actually going to bring in my darker green. So I think I have pastel on my face. Just a sec. I can see it on my fingers. So if I scratched myself, my shoelace is untied now. So just a second. We don't want Dawn falling here live. That would not be fun. I'm going to use this olive green. It's a 585. And I'm going to clean up that edge. And it's darker, so I'm going to get a little bit of variance there. Oh, and I got this little paper showing through from where I erased. You can see how you can go back and forth. And this is my focal point, so I want it to be with the most, you know, developed is, I guess, what I'm trying to come. I'm seeing right here, I got these little stripes. I only have like 2 of them, and I would like to bring in some more here. I'm going to use my Scarlet pencil. These are Swiss made, the Carandache. It's called Scarlet. It says 0770. I'm going to make this one a little thicker. Oh, I went a little too much there. But that's okay, because pastel, this is the cool thing about it. So I've got that fixed. Let's see. We have a show here called The Block. It's about people renovating houses for auction. And I could picture this art in one of the homes. It would be amazing. Oh, I love that, Michelle. Thank you. Well, I can make smaller reproductions. Oh, man. Oh, right? Jonas has Fabulous Portrait. He does a lot of portrait work on Instagram. He followed me, I think, last week. That's awesome, Lynn, that you went and followed him. He's on Instagram. He does some amazing work. Sarah's in the house. Welcome, Sarah. So glad that you made it. I think there are a couple people from New Zealand. We got Luis. Helene says your dad's an oil painter. He uses small fishing rod as an awl. This is actually a kid's toy, you guys. You know those things with the little tufts on the ends and they're sticks, and then you take these 2 things and you juggle them back and forth. And it has a silicone on it. I need to clean it, but it's got a silicone wrap on it, and that's why I like it so much. Anyone in New Zealand? Gordon Harris is having a sale that's about to finish. PanPastels for $13.50. Oh, wow. Oh, Karen, Sonny's over laying down. He's being a good little dog today. Lynn says she's a flower freak. I bet you could paint a riot of flowers and add whimsy. I thought of doing a fun bouquet. I haven't really done like a bouquet flower. Awesome. Glad I'm caught up on chat here. So I'm gonna start loosening up some of these spots here, and I'm gonna work on the light, and we're gonna get some more of that light in here. And I have this beautiful yellow. I'm moving all over this piece, but that's just how I work. This is the yellow orange. It's gonna work in here with this beautiful light that we got going on, and I can even bring in some more. Love just having those spontaneous moments there. And then I can bring some white over it. And this is a spot where I'd probably put some sticks in. Oh, Marty. Awesome. Thanks for coming, Marty. I'm so glad that you were here today. Almost missed you leaving. I always try to catch you guys on everything on chat, but sometimes it can get away from me. Good. Tell me what you think on the replay. I always love getting comments for all of you replay watchers. I know there's a lot of you out there because I can see the views. I always love hearing from you. Say hi, tell me where you're from, tell you how you like the video. If you're gonna do it, if you're a pastel insider. I'm just really loving being able to communicate with you, and since you're not live, I would love to have a comment from you guys. Oh, that'll be fun. The pastel ground's an interesting. I think you'll definitely figure out what you like and you don't like with the pastel ground. It's not as fine as the UArt paper, so I have a hard time with pencils with the ground. They really work well with stick pastels, but you know, you have to explore and see what works for you. So I'm excited to see what you think of that, Sarah. So I'm just getting this light in here. And this is a white pencil, and I can always tap it down a little bit if it becomes a little too obnoxious. These are the really fun. I wish Stacy was here today. Stacy, if you're watching the replay, I'm doing the pastel pencil throwdown. So I'm intentionally trying to be a little awkward with the pencil because I don't want perfect marks. I'm gonna go brighter right here. So I'm just, right now, I'm creating transitions. And that's what I do with the pencils. It's all about transitions for me and making scribbles and interest. And you can see that was a harsher line there. And now I've kind of brought them together. And the more I build that up, the more that light is glowing there. For that spot, you know, I might pull a pastel stick so you can see what that looks like. I did not plan that, so usually that is a really final finishing thing. I'm trying to think for that color there, how bright I want them, and if I can't find one, the tray. I've got so many pastels, you guys, it's kind of crazy. Okay, I found my tray here. I got my tray, guys. I got my greens. And let's see here. What I want is one of these like really bright greens, really high on the value scale. And I have all different brands. I think this is a Schminky. And I'm kind of at my max with the layers here. But this is where I would go one more layer with a, like a pastel stick. And you can see how that's going to bury the lines a bit. And then I have a little bit, I can mix one in there. Let's see, this is a harder one. This is a new pastel. Oh no, we're spontaneous here. But I want that section to be a lot brighter. And so I'm just pulling from what I have here. And it's going to show you how I can bring this together, and there's lots of layering still available. And you know, if you don't have sticks, you can still do it with PanPastel. I'm just showing you all the options. You can use your white pastel pencil right here. But you can see how much brighter that little section is, and I think I'm going to leave it there. And these are really soft pastels. I might show some more of that in the finishing on the Pastel Insider video. But you can kind of get a little taste of it, and then you can always knock them down just a little bit. Okay, got to catch up on. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything, but it looks like Michelle says she loves the section just above the cave. That color is divine. Yeah, this is, I'm thinking you're thinking of this. This is my favorite part. Okay, you guys are just chatting. We're doing good. Okay, so now I'm just going to keep playing around. I'm going to go in with some of the flowers. These are really stained glass all throughout here. So I'm going to just work on that and bring those together. And I personally, this is like my favorite stage. So I could work in this stage for a long time. That's what I've built my style around. This is the 530. It's the emerald green. And I'm going to go in here. I think that's more right here. And I'm going to work on just bringing out this, some of these colors a little bit. This is the olive green, which is the 585. So all I'm doing is matching up some colors and then bringing them up as I go. And it doesn't have to be a perfect match. So this is the leaf green, it's the 575. And what I'm focusing on is getting the black lines to be a little thinner. So I usually carry whatever's in my hand for how many we got going on there. This is in the yellow family, the yellow oxide. It's a 690. And for the 690, they call that the golden ochre. And it's brighter than what's underneath here, but I am bringing everything up now. And I'm not really stabilizing my hand. I don't really want it to be perfect. I'm grabbing the yellow ochre, so I know that's what I used. Now I'm using the emerald green light. That is the 545. Then I'm going to use the 675, which is that the French ochre. We're just going up the scale here. I got them all in my hand, so I don't have to. I really used a lot of this Indian yellow, so I'm going to sharpen that real quick. I love my sharpener. I use the M&R brass sharpeners. I don't use the cranks because I feel like it takes up too much of my lead. My pastel pencils, it uses them up too quickly. I'm going to go back and forth with this. And then I got the red. And this is the 70 Scarlet from Carandache. I guess I'm going 2 of those. And then since I have the red in here, I'm gonna start playing. Merging those two little worlds there. And this is where we're, you know, doing all the fun stuff. Question. I would also like to see some more creations using stencils, like the several other pastel insiders. I have lots of new stencils. Well, in the Facebook group, we all saw Zolly. I think her name is Zolly. I don't probably pronounce it right, but Zoli or Zolly. She has the mega stash of stencils. So I could definitely come up with something. I'll take note of that for one of the doing them even in the color. I've done color with the stencils and the black and white. I have a class planned for the stencils for the black and white. I'm doing one of my big whimsical women on a 18 by 24, and I'm pretty excited about that. That's my next class. I'm going to get in here a little bit with these petals. I don't want them to be too wonky. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I like that you're giving me ideas, though. I love hearing what you guys are interested in. So you can see how I'm just taking these pencils and creating interest and layering, and it's just a lot of fun. It really can free up your art, and abstract is supposed to be fun, you know? I'm not really overthinking it. I'm going to go over that. I like that. I like it a lot. Now this, I really want to bring these marks out. I don't really want them to be as dark as they are. You can see the difference. When I put a mark in that is not outlined and not on the lower level, and then I put one on there, it just sits on the top. So I don't know if I love that. I can bring it together in some way. Ooh, I'm liking that. It's come together quite nicely. This is my favorite part, guys. It's my favorite part. I can look in the camera. If something, you know, doesn't sit right later, I can always fix it. But I'm just kind of going intuitively right now. Just bringing this up together. Okay, that's feeling really good. See, that feels good. I'm excited about it. So I've got all my other colors here, and I'm going to play with this area. Dawn, do you use the M&R sharpener for your Wolf carbon pencil? I can't seem to get my point fine enough. Yes, I do. And you know what? If you're struggling with, you might need to change your blade. I change my blade frequently. I use it for my Wolf carbon pencil a lot, and it's just really this is a hard pencil, so I'm really pushing into the sharpener, and you can tilt it too, but I'm really pushing it in. And if I can't, so see how it kind of makes it a little wonky sometimes. What I do is, great live question, Karen. So I have this paper that I just mount to a mat board, and then I take mine if I want it to be finer, and then I just sharpen it on the pastel paper by rotating it. Now this just saves, you know, now it can be super sharp, and that's what you can do with any of your pastel pencils if they don't sharpen, if their tips are a little different. And I do this quite often, so I use that a lot. So that's a great question. Great tip. It's like a pun too, so we got it 2 in 1. Pam needs to walk the dog. She'll watch the replay, and then the secret squirrel behind the scenes in the PI. Well, thank you, Pam, for becoming a Pastel Insider. All of you Pastel Insiders, I'm really excited about it. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so I've got some of these pencils here. I'm thinking about, this is that emerald green light, 545. I'm gonna just go through and get some fun mark making here. And if you ever feel like you're not sure about the mark making, you know, you can practice with, you know, a pencil and a journal. And you can keep tabs of your mark making and have a little journal of all the different marks that you like. You can practice on a scrap piece and just erase over and over again. So I love putting those little moments in there. Get some scribbles. So I know none of you guys have really asked, but I love to share this part of why I do all this, what inspired it, you know. And I really was into mixed media, and I was loving acrylic and doing all the layering and all that jazz. And you know, when I got into pastel, there's certain things you miss about different mediums, of course, but I just was like, you know what, I think I could recreate a lot of this in the pastel world, and it almost looks like I'm working in a mixed media environment. And I think that's like one of my inspirations, is just pulling from that background of creating using acrylic and all the different, you know, using colored pencils and all the different layerings and stuff. And I can do a lot of that same vibe with this medium. And I think that's what really hit home for me and what really made me fall in love with it. And it's instantaneous. I don't have any paint to, you know, wait for it to dry. I don't have to mix paint. I can show up for 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 5 hours, and it's always there for me. Repetition is something I like to do. I think it's really powerful. Sometimes if it goes too much, I can just take it away. This pencil's getting really low. I'm gonna have to sharpen it. I'm just making transitions. I love to blend things. Oh, is Pam leaving? All right, Pam, you take care. Oh yeah, she said she was gonna walk the dog. I wanna make sure I say goodbye to everybody. I'm trying not to look at the pastel and the cider just yet, as I'm working on a leopard and don't want a distraction. Otherwise, I won't finish the leopard. Well, the pastel and cider, Michelle, is going to be there. It's filling up. I already have 2. I've been recording this for 2 weeks. This is the 3rd week. So by this week, on Friday, you're going to have 3 weeks worth of behind-the-scenes content and line art. And it'll be there, Michelle, for when you're ready. I'm excited to see your leopard. Oh yeah, you guys, feel free to put your Instagrams in there if you want people to follow each other. That would be awesome. Yeah, Francine, it can be really hard to start being a little too precious about the art. And the one thing I really want you guys to come away with when it comes to this journey is that this medium is not precious. It's the most flexible mediums out there. So I'm thinking here, I want to take the this 700 pencil, and that's what is in the background. This is exactly, you can't even see it, see? And so I'm going to play with the 700 pencil and bring in some marks that maybe will show up closer. I have this here. That's not really showing up at all, so I'm just going to knock that down a bit. Going super light. Can tap that down so it marries it into the piece. I'm just having fun, guys. This is just fun for me. We've got to have more play in our life, you know, like can't really mess it up. Like I'm trying to be intentionally looser and messier, and I think right here I can play with this a little bit. I usually like to have a big scribble somewhere. This is the moment. I'm having a big scribble. Don't love that part of the scribble. There we go. Okay, so now I'm looking through the camera. I'm actually looking at it on the screen, and I'm just seeing anything that might that I might want to trade. So I'm going to put some dots in here. And that's going to radiate out this white that we have here. Ooh, I like that. Feeling really good about that. This is walk your own path. Gotta have the courage to walk our own path. Okay, let's see, we got a question. Oh, good, I love you guys. You guys are all like sharing. Let's see. Louise says, agree, Dawn. I need to sell everything else off. I can't see me using all the products I have in my studio. You're preaching to the choir over here, girl. I have so much product. Yeah, I am with you 100%. I don't know if I'll still have all my encaustic stuff. I'm I still have acrylics. There's a local place here called I've Been Framed that takes old supplies. I'm using the 675. I'm gonna bring this up a bit. And they buy them from you, or you can, you know, so I really have been wanting to bring my stuff in there, but they kind of shut down during COVID and now they're back up with all of it, but they stopped their buying for a while. You can see how I naturally ended up going into these. I'm just going to mess this up. The neutral's fine, but I'm not loving it. And then I can take my orange. Who doesn't want to scribble like a kid? I love it. We got to bring our inner child out, man. Our inner child wants to come out and play. This is what abstract is for me. That's why I love it so much. So I loved watercolor, and I love the splashes in watercolor. So I'm kind of going with that vibe here a little bit with these little bits out, as I like to make it look like the watercolor paint is splattered on the piece. And that's from my watercolor background. I've tried almost all of it, folks. I have to say, keep going until you find your happy place. I love this community. It's awesome. You guys are awesome. So I'm feeling pretty good about it all. Right there I'm not loving. I might just go in with this leaf green. I can break that up. It's amazing to make changes. You can just go in, cover it up, what you might not be loving. You can see how it just leads into one more thing and another. Oh. I might do that. Kind of want this to go out of here a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm liking this. We're just breaking up some of those harsh lines. I'm going to sharpen this. Dawn, do you have that many? Dawn, do you have that many ideas or things you want to create that it blocks you up due to wanting to do too much? And if so, how do you deal with that? That is a great question, Michelle. How do I deal with that? I think what I do is I'll write a list of ideas down, and then I'll make time to draw up some of them, or play around with the idea, like drawing it first, sketching it out, and then I just make a decision, line up with it. So I've learned over time that there's always going to be time to do things. It's just, I just got to make it, which one speaks to me the most after I, you know, really evaluate things, you know. And so I do have quite a few ideas, but they really get going more when I draw. So right now what I've been doing is I have all these drawings, and I didn't sit with a lot of my ideas when I was starting out as much. And so I've gone back and looked at my journey, and now I'm taking some of those that have spoken to me, and I'm going, you know, I want to revisit some of these ideas, and then I just pick which one and just kind of line up with it. You just got to commit a little bit and not overthink it too much. Because intuitively you're going to pick that. You know, you're going to pick the one that you're meant to play with. But if you're taking on commissions and you're doing a lot of work for other people, that can be hard sometimes. Oh, I'm really liking the dots. I think you can see all those. I'm really liking this moment, and it's happening intuitively, so it's an example. But yeah, Michelle, I just think when you're new, you just get a lot of ideas, and so I would list out the ones that I have, and then I would pick the top one or two and then line up with it. Paula Lewis. Hi, Paula. Boy, these 2 hours, oh my gosh, it's almost 3:30. You're right. They do go by fast, Louise. I'm glad you feel that way. Francine said she has too many happy places. Love these supportive moments for our art channels. Love this group. Gosh, you guys are amazing. Love you guys. Did you use a sponge to apply the larger areas of the background? Paula, I'm thinking, you know, you're thinking of the whole piece. When I started, I mainly used my oval wand, my soft tool, to start that out. And I showed that in Tuesday's live, how I brought up, because I only brought up like a little bit of it before I started. So now I'm repeating this thing that I love around, and I like when it goes into the same value and it's not so bold. I'm really liking that. This is happiness. But you can see, I hope, that you have to just show up and play, and those mark making moments will start coming the more you show up. And if I look at this tomorrow and go, oh, maybe I went a little too crazy with those dots, I can just tap them down with a wand, and they'll be gone. Even if I thought I went a little too crazy with my scritchy scratches here, you know. I do like to do this with some of them. I like to take and make a little tiny scallop on them. I wanted to do that on the green one out here. I don't know if I'm going to keep this green one, but that's always fun. I like to have little surprising moments. I think this is a little dark for here, so I'm going to use this green and bring up this section. Okay, we're going to have the before and after here in just a moment. Stay tuned for the before and after. I know it's sometimes the little things. I really love how these ended up blending in. I might play with a little bit of that in a couple of different areas, but oh, I want to bring that up. Oh, it's a happy, happy, happy painting. Okay, let's see. I know, it's too fast. Well, Louise, if you're, I don't remember if you joined the Pastel Insider, but you can watch more when you go inside there. Let's see. I used to be in the business of selling art supplies in my art studio, and now I'm still trying to get all my surplus items that are still new condition sold on eBay. Oh my gosh, Karen, that must be so much work. I used to sell on eBay a lot. Karen says that is probably a job in itself. Yes, it's a huge job. I could almost do. Yeah, I thought you were in the Insider, Louise. I'm gonna write out a list of everyone because it's getting. I'm really excited. There's quite a few of you in there, and so I'm gonna write out a list so I can refer to that. Lynn says she could hang out all day. My spouse would want food. He has joined me a time or two and asked if Dawn is talking to me. I am talking to you, Lynn. Tell him yes, I am. I'm even replying to Luis's reply that you're giving Luis, but that's awesome. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna do the before and after. This is where we are. I'm gonna tell you really quick that I love this section right here. Ended up being my favorite. The whole journey of the flow of the piece, I'm really thrilled with. The I might, you know, I definitely could have more finishing details, which that'll be in the Insider with maybe some sticks and things like that. But I need to sit on it for a while, see how it feels, and you'll definitely see those in there. So here we go, folks. I wish I had a little drum roll. Like I need to get like sound effects on my computer. So this is where we started off. My printouts are always a little bit different color. That's just how they are. It's really hard to match your art unless you do a lot of color correcting. So this is where we were, and I'm really excited to show you where we came. So this is where I took it. So it's up here in the top, so you can see how much layering is your superpower, guys. Not just one layer, not just two. You got to have some fun with layering. I want you to look at the light in here. Look at the scallops up on top, how much that has changed. And the rainbow, the bottom values down here. That's a big shift, just really blending in and getting those transitions in there and bringing up the values and the saturation and the glow. That's what I'm about. So I hope you guys enjoyed the journey of Walk Your Own Path this week. And I hope I'll see more of you in the Pastel Insider. For the 50 first new members, they get the free line art of the Mystic Council and the Cosmic Guardian that I've done here on YouTube. So you'll be able to follow that along. And oh, Laura fell asleep. Oh, well, I hope you're doing okay, Laura. I'm so sorry about you getting food poisoning. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for cheering me on. I really appreciate it. Janelle, thank you for coming. Peg. Oh, Laura, that sounds great. Francine, I'm so glad that you came today. Thank you. I'm really excited about the lighting. Loving this piece. I feel it made a journey of 360 degrees. Thank you. Well, the first one, it's kind of fun to see, like, this is where we started on, you know, left off on Tuesday. Am I right? Yeah, so you can see the dark things up here and how much it's changed from, then we went here and then now we're here. So it's really fun just to kind of see where each one of them take you on a journey. And I also want to do a piece on the tan paper. I probably have pastel over my face, but I am a pastel artist. So, but yeah, I'm going to try one on the one of the abstracts on the tan paper. A lot of these ones I've been inspired from I initially did on tan, but it's really fun to kind of see how the different papers work. I think that'd be fun for you guys too. So, all right, you guys, well, you take care. I will think about what I'm going to do for next Tuesday. I hope I'll see you there. Remember, the link is in my description. If you want to get more deeper dive and join the Pastel Insider, you'll get all the behind the scenes video and the line art and access to all of my online classes. So I will see you guys next Tuesday. All right, take care. Bye, everyone. This has been great today.